I'm the VP Strategy taking care of media at Klick. So used to head up the media group, but now I'm on the Strategy Super Friends team, leading client engagements and business development. So online behavioral advertising is essentially anytime you're serving up ads to users based on their observed online behaviors. So based on kind of content that they're looking at, things they're clicking on, etc. So essentially whenever they're trying to target a very specific audience, so in the case of pharmaceutical marketing, for example, if we're trying to go after someone who's treating with a certain type of medication or has a certain condition, we can actually target based on if they've been looking at that type of content online. For example, if they've been looking at diabetes information, we can target them based on, following after they've been looking at that information. Yeah, so there's been a lot of industry groups who have kind of been rallying for there to be legislation around how this type of targeting can be rolled out. So the concerns really are around users' privacy. So, meaning some people don't want to be followed by companies. They don't want to be targeted based on their preferences and based on their online behavior. So there really has been a push towards putting some legislation in place to actually kind of regulate or potentially prevent this type of advertising. The Digital Advertising Alliance is essentially a group of different industry organizations, including the IAB, who have now come together to, implement a self-regulatory program. So instead of waiting for legislation to come out and maybe that legislation being completely restricting the use of this type of technology, they've said, let's come together and develop a self-regulation program so that we can kind of roll this out across the industry to hopefully prevent future legislation, but also make sure that there's transparency, that there's the consumer's ability to opt out of this type of targeting. So the ad choices icon, that icon is essentially part of the self-regulatory program. So one of the components of that program is putting this little ad choices icon within the ad unit. Essentially it acts as an overlay over top of the unit, typically in one of the corners. And when a user sees the icon, they can roll over and a little notice will come up that this ad is being served based on behavioral targeting. And then they can click through and actually opt out or read about the type of targeting, see which companies are tracking them, and then they have the opportunity to opt out of this type of targeting. Okay. Depending on the advertiser, a lot of them are starting to work with different technology providers like Batten, for example, who will kind of implement this layover and kind of serve these ads for them so that they don't have to kind of hard-code it, into their ad units. And in some instances, the ad choices icon will appear, in some instances it won't, so this will enable kind of just that overlay to appear when and where it's most applicable. So Klick Pharma is beginning to roll out these programs across all of our clients. We have a good understanding of what this program is, what the objectives are, how to implement it, and we have good relationships with some of the key technology vendors in this space, so we can definitely assist our clients in doing that.